The town of Willow Creek had one blinking traffic light, a single grocery store, and a habit of looking out for its own. That's why the disappearance of Hannah Moore, a 34-year-old nurse at the county medical center, felt less like a crime and more like a rupture in the town's identity. Hannah was dependable in the way people trusted without thinking. She worked long shifts, volunteered at the church clinic, and often walked home along the same quiet road just after dawn. When she failed to show up for work one Monday morning and didn't answer her phone, people noticed immediately. By nightfall, her car was found parked outside her rented duplex. The doors were unlocked. Her purse sat on the passenger seat. There were no obvious signs of a struggle. To investigators, it looked like the work of chance, a random act of violence, perhaps someone passing through town who saw an opportunity and vanished with it. The theory spread quickly, and so did fear. Parents walked their children to school. Porch lights stayed on all night. Willow Creek locked its doors for the first time in memory. But as detectives began retracing Hannah's life, the randomness started to fall apart. Friends described her as private, kind but careful. She didn't share much about her personal life, even with those closest to her. When investigators examined her phone records, they noticed frequent late-night calls to a number saved only as a first name. No last name, no photo. The calls had stopped abruptly 2 days before Hannah disappeared. Detectives spoke to her co-workers next. That's when they learned Hannah had recently requested fewer night shifts. She'd seemed distracted, anxious. One colleague mentioned overhearing Hannah argue quietly in the parking lot weeks earlier. When asked who it was with, the colleague hesitated. She didn't want anyone to know, she said. Hannah said it could ruin everything. The call logs led investigators to Mark Ellison, a married man and longtime town resident who served on the hospital's facilities board. To most people in Willow Creek, Mark was unremarkable, polite, reliable, invisible in the way small-town figures often are. At first, Mark denied knowing Hannah well, said they'd met a few times through hospital business. But when confronted with the phone records, his story shifted. He admitted to a relationship, one he described as brief, consensual, and over. Then came the twist no one in Willow Creek expected. Hannah had recently confided in a co-worker that she was pregnant. Detectives now had a motive that had nothing to do with chance. This wasn't random. This was personal. As pressure mounted, Mark's alibi began to unravel. Surveillance footage from a gas station on the edge of town placed his truck near Hannah's route home the night she vanished, something he had failed to mention. When questioned again, his composure cracked. He claimed they had met to talk things through. He said Hannah was emotional. He said she walked away. But evidence told a quieter, darker story. Search teams later discovered Hannah's body in a wooded area miles outside town, concealed but not buried. There were no signs of prolonged violence, just the unmistakable truth that she had not left that place on her own. Mark Ellison was arrested weeks later. At trial, prosecutors painted a picture of a man terrified of exposure, of a life about to collapse under the weight of a secret he couldn't control. The defense argued panic, not planning. In the end, it didn't matter. The jury found him guilty. Willow Creek never fully recovered. The grocery store still opens every morning. The traffic light still blinks. But the town learned something it hadn't wanted to know. That evil doesn't always arrive from the outside. Sometimes it lives quietly among you, sharing smiles, attending meetings, and hiding behind familiarity. And Hannah Moore, the nurse who once made others feel safe, became the reason Willow Creek would never again assume that closeness meant protection.